So again, we have an interesting map I cannot tell you anything about yet.
I really wish, like, while we're throwing out complaints about minor things in the game, I really wish there were load bars here somewhere so I could just be like, okay, we're waiting for players, but are we actually waiting for players or did it
What I,
die?
what I, what I think they could do is like put a mini map up with the resources everywhere and how many resources of each there are on the loading screen.
Maybe, but if a player didn't load fast enough, that would give other players with faster computers an advantage type of thing, perhaps.
Well,
But
yeah, it
no.
could be the first thing that loads up for you, and shouldn't have to take a lot of CPU to load the basic information.
Yeah, I don't know
Scientific
exactly what
colony
the deal
founded.
is. Now, speaking of maps that have significant numbers of resources on them, you've got some pretty good plots here. You could get away with Scavenger, Scientist, Expansive, Power Robot, basically do whatever you want on this map as long as you're fast enough to it. Speaking of that, all three of the locations I spotted immediately have been taken, so it's up to Veivi to figure out what to do with what's left.
Maybe he just missed his founding button.
Probably did. It's also worth noting there's a geotherm here, down close to Soren. Three more, four more actually, up closer to the middle of the map. So plenty of geotherms to go around.
Yeah.
I see at least
Scientific
8,
colony
I think.
expanded.
9? I think I see 9 geotherms on this map. That is ridiculous.
And Ultrapope is doing a weird thing with steel mills and no iron.
The black
Yeah, that is super awkward. It's like he's relying on somebody else to have pulled in that iron for him. This is a great move as an expansive player when you're late to found in kind of like a larger game where plenty of iron has already been taken. Other people maybe aren't in steel mills just yet, sort of thing. But it certainly is a lot more awkward
black market is
when you
online.
yourself didn't take any iron and nobody else did either. So he's definitely going to have to resolve that once he hit HQ level 2. Which thankfully he
Oh,
did get to, so he'll be okay.
And I think Soren correctly saw that there were no pirates, which means he can easily just go scientific and remote life support, produce life support remotely.
Absolutely. He does have to be concerned about those magnetic storms, a heavily underutilized black market item still, in my opinion, against scientists. But,
Yes.
and it is also
Well-
worth noting, he only really has defense against one black market tool in that EMP. Always a nice thing to have, but he has also managed to stuff himself kind of behind a crater. He's just got that big patch of iron right next to him. No real good source of silicon available for him, so...
We
although
do
he-
have plenty of dry ice to use, so that it kind of fills in the hole for scientific.
Yeah. That there certainly is going to be helpful, all of these players having founded in an area with access to dry ice. Certainly could be important in this game. It's also worth noting that Soren, apparently terrified of debt all of a sudden, has already built a solar panel out on the high silicon tile that he took all the way across the map.
Wow.
So he's basically said, by the way guys, I'm going for
Scientific
teleportation this
colony
game,
expanded.
just in case you were curious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good patent on this map.
Absolutely. And of course, could also be a nice defense against those magnetic storms. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Soren go for that on HQ level 3 here, considering he's certainly going to be shipping life support. He's already shipping aluminum. If he wants access to that silicon, he's going to have to ship that so far. We'll just have to see what Soren ends up deciding at the end of the day, though.
Well, Soren is getting into fuel at last, and nobody else is in life support yet.
Yeah, which seems a bit odd to me. Blackmagic finally making that move into farms. Blackmagic is in a situation where he has the upgrades that he needs, but he doesn't have the money to actually use them just yet, so it looks like he's struggling to kind of move into those farms. And then Ultrapope and Soren are going to be fighting over the reactors.
Wow.
I am also a bit concerned about Ultrapope's positioning on his water. It's very far away, and it didn't have to be.
No, to the west of him is a lot of water. And
Absolutely. He seems to have just missed that entirely. It's not the
Yeah,
end of the
it's-
world, especially considering he's expansive, but you want every edge you can get, so...
Well, it's costing him like 1.3 units of fuel.
This Soren didn't take that patent, and it only went for 18,000.
And what patent was it?
It was a new claim,
Oh,
and a new claim this early. That can definitely be a pretty handy tool. I am a bit surprised that Veivi ended up with it, even for like a moderate price of $18,000. That still puts him very, very far away from potentially making money off of power, which he had already taken this geotherm, and I don't know. He had options open to him, and now he kind of shut the door on some of them with that particular play.
well,
Yep.
he bought one claim on the market, he's got one bonus claim, and now he got the auction claim, so it's plus 3 claims for him.
Patent lab down for Soren. Somebody could ruin his whole day right here. They're not going to.
Expansive
I would have
expanded.
laughed so hard if somebody had, like, somebody should have punished Soren here. All they had to do was magnetic storm his fuel, and it guarantees he's not able to use that patent office, that patent lab. And on top of that, Soren hadn't split his fuel sends at all. So they were so open to magnetic storming. Like, you just storm those right now, and if he doesn't split by the time the oxygen launches too, suddenly you're knocking down 160 resources with $1,000.
Well, in a 1v1 that is a big concern, but in the free-for-all, people just don't pay attention to that kind of thing.
It's true. It's true. It is much harder to see during the free-for-all. And yeah, it feels a little bit less rewarding to target down one player.
It is fun to do, but it's not always the right thing.
I think it would have been the right call against Soren, though, because it would have just left him so dead in the water, he basically becomes a non-concern for a significant period of time. He's not able to pick up teleportation, which is so crucial for him. He's stuck with a dead tile in that patent office that's eating up so many of his resources. And especially if you're Ultrapope, like, you're kind of forcing him into a weird steal situation, things just get awkward. All starts happening purely because of that one or two magnetic storms.
The black market is online.
All right, well, Veivi running behind in the upgrades. No real big surprise. He was basically left with the...
Well, he has up
Last
3
little.
claims because of his late found and the auctions and the black market.
Yeah, has he been the one picking those up from the black market primarily?
Yes, he got 3 claims extra.
I really like that move most of the time these days. A lot of people don't. But if you can get up to the point where you are making money, like as long as you've got one set of tiles making you good money, well, Veivi effectively is only 1 claim short of HQ level 4 anyway. So once you count in his auction, he's actually there. And his past auction. Now he's ahead on claims of somebody who's just
He's
hit
a lot-
HQ level
he's-
4.
He's the last founder as well.
So that's another claim. So he's up, what, 6 claims over a usual HQ level 3 right now?
Yes.
That's kind of a lot. That's pretty ridiculous. He's going to have more than an extra upgrade by the time he hits HQ level 5, if he ever does. Whereas if you look at somebody like Soren, I believe he's just stuck back on... He founded first, if I remember correctly. And he hasn't bought any claims. I think that's all been Veivi and maybe Blackmagic this game. So he is always going to be running short on claims this game. In exchange for that, he gets his patents.
It may not be the prettiest looking upgrade.
I guess we'll just have to see which one pays
We
off
should
best.
be proud of our guys.
Alright, glass furnaces coming up for Soren in addition to his high silicon tile. I definitely am totally fine with that. Now that he's got that teleportation locked down. He also took financial instruments very early this game.
And he is the player who's in the most debt.
Yeah, like,
The other 2 players don't have a lot. It's
financial
not
instruments doesn't feel all that great, especially because Blackmagic, he just doesn't have debt.
No.
He's managed to hold on. He was making all of the life support resources in the black with water, food, and oxygen, I believe, for a while. Maybe a little short on water, but not badly. Then he's been making plenty of power, like paying attention to, all right, I need to transition out some of my aluminum. He secured 2 geotherms, and so it leaves financial instruments being a bit strange for Soren, realistically. I feel like something like maybe Cold Fusion, Nanotech, just anything, realistically, might have been a better option.
What?
Alright.
One, Veivi.
Now, it is worth noting that Ultrapope has managed to reach HQ level 5. And so he has a bit of freedom in terms of how he wants to play out the rest of this game, having already made that investment. Looks like he's choosing to play very defensively, which is understandable considering Blackmagic is sitting on a huge amount of cash once again.
Yes.
Blackmagic actually looks like he's pressing for an Offworld. He's sitting on 100 electronics, 57 glass, 550 carbon. That's almost all the way there at that point. So it looks like he just might be relying on that level 4 Offworld once again.
And are you using the number keys to select players?
Yeah.
And it works correctly for you? Because,
Well, they're in a stupidly difficult order, like they almost always are. But like
it's
1 is
for...
Ultrapope, 2 is
Yeah.
Veivi, 3 is Blackmagic, 4 is Soren.
That's confusing.
Yes, it is. Now you can understand some of my pain when I'm trying to do all this and figure all that out on the fly. All right. Oh, man. Veivi, your stuff needs stuff in order to do stuff. He's sitting here with 6 tiles sitting there going, I need a thing, I need a thing. And Veivi's sitting on $1. So... Oh, man.
Yeah, well,
Oh, this is interesting. So if we look from Veivi's perspective at Blackmagic, okay. Now it's showing as a constructing dry ice condenser. For a while it was showing as a fully constructed dry ice condenser that wasn't in the night. Like right now. It's just showing as a completed dry ice condenser, but not nighttime. So anybody who's paying attention... Soren, you should also be paying attention to this when you rewatch this game that I'm going to make you do. Could know that that is not a real dry ice condenser. And have a bit of a clue to where Blackmagic's money all disappeared to.
Yeah. I mean, I like to look around when I'm slow rolling on a lot of cash and just look who's building Offworlds and buy them.
Absolutely. So Blackmagic has put himself into, I would say, actually a pretty vulnerable position. Like, Goon Squads are up at 20,000, which isn't too expensive, but it means he realistically only has access to 1 or 2 more, maybe. The Offworld market itself is good, but not great this game. The best thing you've got is fuel and chems at 540 and 480. And on top of that, you've got access to spies, dynamite, and mutinies, and you're against another scavenger player. And you don't have thinking machines. And you might get it, he's going for it. But as you can see, Soren has identified everything that's going on, and it's just like, alright, I'll kill Blackmagic.
Yeah, definitely the right play because of the Offworld.
Yeah, that Offworld just... It's such a great building. Yes, it makes you a lot of money, but if you rush to it in that fashion and you're kind of running a little bit behind, it can just get you killed. And if Soren and Ultrapope in particular work together here, Blackmagic is just going to get knocked straight out of this game. The question is Ultrapope going to man up and do that? Or is he going to continue with his usual play style of just concentrating on himself for the entire game?
I would just consider just asking people to join in on the buy.
Yeah. Veivi is also in a decent position to contribute here.
Legal high-performance dietary supplements.
And on top of that, if I were one of these other 2 players, I would not want to risk letting Blackmagic live, or risk letting Soren get all 6 shares so that he just has all of that for himself.
Price manipulation
Right.
shortly.
But that's what it's looking like might happen at this point. Oh, he's got it. He's there.
There we go.
Wow.
Soren is out.
Well, Blackmagic is out.
Blackmagic is out. Yeah, I'm confused.
That's okay. And Soren's put himself into a really strong position. I blame everybody not using magnetic storms. Calling you all out. Use magnetic storms, they're good.
The scientific player is doing it again, especially because power is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the patent situation...
The patent
Just look at the
situation is
glass
just
furnaces.
gross,
The
is
glass
what it
furnaces
is.
are The glass furnaces are huge this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Those have been doing a great job. Like, ever since Soren got teleportation and made them viable, along with then slant drilling afterward.
And also the pleasure dome is like 500 a second. It's as good as an Offworld.
Well, yeah, and you've got 2 scavengers and an expansive player and then a scientist this game. So that pleasure dome with virtual reality becoming so important. Basically, Soren's just sitting here in all of the best spots. Everybody else is playing a kind of casual, straightforward game, and you can see that's not what was called for here. Veivi's over here, like, dying to debt. He can't even use his scavenger advantage because he's sitting in that D debt range. Ultrapope is still sitting here doing very, very standard things. He's never made a move to seriously close out a game. He's just kind of sitting around trying to do the best he can with very basic stuff.
Your stock is being bought.
That's how dominant Soren's feeling right now. He's just like, I'm just going to buy all of you. Don't worry about me. I'm all good. I'm just going to buy all of you. Oh, man. And this would be an advantage, actually, to not calling for help in a kill that you think you can secure anyway. Is this idea that Soren's going to be making plenty of cash off that subsidiary, and he does not have to share a lot of it.
Yes, that's right. I'm just getting way behind on what's going on.
Well, while that's going on, I have a question for you, because I don't actually know the answer. Do you know how exactly subsidiary cash is distributed in a situation where not all of the stock is owned?
No, I don't.
I'll have to
I'm
ask
not
Soren
sure.
about that later. I mean, if Soren wins this game, we could just talk to him right after in Word and be like, hey, by the way, how does that work? We'll just have to see.
12,000.
Well, I mean, a high water auction. Water's all expensive, but I think someone's driving that up right now.
And it's
No, that's
very
actually
far
just
away.
the pure price. Yeah. On the other hand, when you're expansive, once again, you can kind of get away with it a bit better. But you do
Even
have to
so,
wonder, like,
If you
Ultra.
look at the water pump of Ultrapope, it's a lot of fuel still.
It is a lot of fuel. He's basically spending all of his fuel
Look at all the money.
in order to just, like, all of his fuel from his reactors, just in order to keep bringing in the water.
To produce the fuel, to bring in the water.
Which is definitely a bit of an awkward situation, to say the least.
Oh.
Man, Veivi just feels out of it, like stuck.
We're not
He's got
surprised,
one
just
off-world market
disappointed in
down,
you.
which is nice enough, but everything else really isn't doing a whole lot for him. This high water price just, once again, helping Soren out so much, even on his limited number of claims. He's just using them better than everybody else is.
Off-world shipment
Yeah.
launched. Look at all the money.
Kind of curious.
Black market
I feel
is
like if I
online.
am in such a dominant position as Soren is, I like his line of play. Just, I'm going to buy 5 in everybody, and then whenever any one of them turns into a threat, I'll just kill that guy on the spot. You know, it's just... I think he's got it wrapped up, guys. I don't know how to make it any more interesting.
Your stock is being bought.
No, it's just waiting it out.
And Veivi, he's
We're
just
not surprised, just
falling
disappointed
further
in
and
you.
further and further into debt. Like, that stock price is just going to fix itself at this rate.
And I really like what the AI is doing.
What's the
If you
AI
will
up to?
notice.
And it's, oh yeah, this is really solid, strong play out of the AI right here.
Look at all the money.
I don't know. I don't even know.
No comment.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like,
The black market is online.
guys, this is how you win games if you're an AI, apparently. Like, I don't even have anything clever or funny to say about that. It's just stupid. I don't understand why that's a thing. Hopefully one of these days it'll lose Soren a game and then it'll get patched.
Yeah.
Off-world shipment launched.
Probably,
Alright.
I hope
Look
soon.
at all the money.
Soren can afford Veivi, although I would not be in any hurry whatsoever to clean him up. If Soren can actually afford both of them at this point. Although I imagine some of that... Yeah, there we go. And Veivi could pretty easily just give up the ghost from here, and I would be totally fine with that. Because there's no way he's going to recover from a guy who's got basically 2 full subsidiaries and a quite excellent
No.
stock price. Yeah, there it is. Soren has won the game. Veivi gives it up once again. Good effort by Blackmagic in particular. Just a bit too risky. Not confirming the Offworld price in the first place definitely was going to be painful for him. If it had been a bit higher, I don't know exactly how much he made off that Offworld, how many launches he got out. If it was 2, let's see. Blackmagic only getting off 1 launch, it looks like. So even with a higher Offworld price, I think he still would have died in the position he was in. That's Veivi. Blackmagic, though, yeah. Just getting off 1 Kim launch, not quite enough. If he had gotten to 2 launches, he might have lived. And we might have seen a lot more interesting of a game. But everybody else just letting Soren have him. Blackmagic not able to defend himself. Definitely just not enough being done to keep Soren from steamrolling through that game on his ridiculous list of patents.
And you have to wonder how good Offworlds really were this game, because the prices just skyrocketed.
Absolutely. And in both of Soren's wins, we've seen him not prioritize the Offworld market. It's not to say that he doesn't use it at all, but it is not a priority for him to move to it quickly. And I think that a big part of that is just that when you hit that late stage of the game, it takes a good 3 minutes for an Offworld market to truly start being profitable. If you get 1 launch off, your market has maybe paid for itself. Probably not. And so it's really 4 minutes until it's put a good amount of money into your pocket. And any time after that, it's absolutely fantastic. But it takes so long for the market to actually get good. And during that time, you'll often see a player just clean up the game and almost take the win by killing off somebody else or making some kind of maneuver into a strong position, so they don't have to worry about the fact that they don't have this beast of a late game unit, because there is no late game.
Yeah, it takes way too long to get a return on your investment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that means that we are going to be done with just 3 games today. A bit more than yesterday, at least, so that's nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Did
they
you
were
watch
certainly
the
strong
games of yesterday?
I did watch the games from yesterday. I got a replay from Soren for one of them, and I watched the other one. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed in them. Just going over them, there were like a lot of missteps in those games from what I could tell. Like, for whatever reason, Spin Cycle, and we can talk to Soren in just a minute here. He's asking about calling in, but real quick, Spin Cycle always seemed to be the best off the block. Like, he would actually be in a great position at the start of a game, and then he had no idea how to close it out. And then PB Head, for whatever reason, is stumbling all over himself for most of it. And then Blues was like the opposite of Spin Cycle, where Blues, he would get off to a terrible opening. I mean, atrociously bad. And then he would come back and be like, it's okay, I've got it in the late game. Which I can understand. That's how I play the game most of the time. But it wasn't quite what I was expecting, and I felt like we saw a lot more solid play out of like both Soren and Blackmagic today. And even Veivi, perhaps, could have won it if he was in that last group if they were playing the way they were. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to match up when they have to go up against Soren in the final round now.
Yeah, I just don't know. I was very surprised that PB just got knocked out.
It's true. And I am being harsh to these guys in there in chat right now, but I don't regret anything I'm saying. Take it to heart and go win.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I hope
man.
I can keep up tomorrow when I have to play.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. You actually have to play tomorrow. I don't have to play ever because I refuse to play. It's fantastic. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get Soren in here and see if he has anything to say, assuming Skype feels like cooperating, that is.